Well, this law outlined by the Berlin Senate is due to come into effect on January 2020, but it could be enforced retroactively onto tenancy agreements that date back to the day that this law was agreed on June the 18th, 2019. So it remains to be seen whether any of these panicked rent hikes by landlords in this interim period will be considered legal. Now, this law was put forward by the Berlin Senate, a left-wing coalition, but it's already got a lot of criticism from the Conservatives and from liberal politicians who say that this law really is only going to discourage landlords from doing at some point much needed renovations to their property if they feel like they're not going to be able to recoup that in rent. And it's also been criticised for spooking property investors. However, the Berlin Senate has defended this law as much needed in order to provide Berlin's residents with much needed affordable housing. And just how Berlin's tenants feel, I'm going to find out now from Moritz Biel. Now, Moritz, as these banners show us behind us outside your building, you and your neighbours now for have quite some time been fighting the threat of rising rents. How do you feel about this planned law by the Berlin Senate to freeze rents for 5 years?
Well, I think and we think it's a good sign that this whole issue of not enough affordable housing is coming to the agenda. Something is being done. I'm not sure if it's really going to solve the problem. I think there's a lot of questions to it. Also, how to handle other solutions of affordable housing, like co-ops, as it's going to be in our case. But in general, I think it's a good sign that this whole thing is going to be handled.
And yes, we hear a lot about the housing crisis in Berlin. We hear a lot about this in the media in Berlin especially. This is one step towards solving the housing crisis, or at least this is what the Berlin Senate is saying that it is. What do you think needs to be done? What more needs to be done?
I think we need more new housing, also at affordable prices, supported by the state. And we also need more signs like this, that renting and housing is not just for capital investment, it's for people who live there. And that's what we also stand for with our house, fighting to have it in our own property or with a co-op, so people can live there at affordable prices, and it's not an investment market.
Thank you very much, Moritz. Well, 85% of people living in Berlin live in rented accommodation, so this is a really pertinent issue here. And this law could set a precedent that we could see other cities and towns across Germany where rent hikes are also more common following suit. So this law looks set to come into effect in January 2020, and residents as politicians quite split on this quite controversial decision.